Good question.
Honestly, currently, the way we do politics in this country, I don't think is attractive to the young ones. Because Ghanaians now believe that politicians, most of us, who don't speak the
Abusunya Kennedy akompre ko Agyapong ene wama UPSC ayedepa esanse National Emerging Leaders Economic Forum 2025 ade se ekoso na abusunya odensem kakra bia tudwa amepese ebeko ne akwakotie.
Thoughts on this? Do you agree with the minister that politics is attractive to the young persons now, sir?
Good question.
Honestly, currently, the way we do politics in this country, I don't think is attractive to the young ones. Because Ghanaians now believe that politicians, most of us, who don't speak the truth. And
A round of applause for him.
so even if the youth wants to go into politics, their parents tend to advise them to stay away from politics. Because the moment you start doing politics, that is when the day you were born will be told by your opponent and give all sort of information, misinformation about you. So I personally, with my experience, I don't think politics is attractive, and I will never advise any of my children to go into politics.
Right. So the second part, I give the microphone back to him. Honorable Agyapong, the second part of my question is this. If you are not willing to advise your children to be politicians, young persons, there are over 5,000 gathered here right now. How do we make politics attractive? Now, the caveat here, sir, is you go into politics to make money rather than, causing change in the economy. What do we do?
Individual choice. You can decide to go into politics. But anybody who comes to me to take advice from me, I always discourage them. And when they go,
You are there.
Yeah. So first, when I was going into it, the advice given to me, I didn't take it. But with the experience today, it's not attractive. I'm being brought to politics as an end to means or whatever. I'm afraid is a wrong approach. You need to work on other things. Yeah. Thank you very much for asking the question. My aim of becoming the president and also what I'll do for the youth, the answer is simple. As a businessman, I've come to realize that the youth are not given opportunities. When you talk of youth employment, all those agencies are not going to assure the future of the youth unless the government creates enabling environment suitable for business so that the youth will take advantage of it. Here, the youth is over-dependent on government for their survival. And no youth depending on the government alone can survive or be a rich or successful person. You have to take your destiny into and move ahead. Don't wait till the government gives you assistance. So what into businesses? The rest you hear from me when I speak.
Very much. Thank you, sir. The microphone to Honorable Opong Kroma. Sir, the same question to you. You are quite young, a journalist, a communicator, and you went in there. So sometimes on interviews, people say, I want to be like Honorable Opong Kroma because he's young and he's done that. Same question to you. How do we make politics attractive to the young Ghanaian?
I think first, I'll take a bite on whether a lot more people are getting attracted to politics or other options. And I think that a lot of young people are getting attracted to politics for two reasons. Sometimes they admire the personality Honorable Agyapong mentioned. A lot of people believe that the fastest way to make money is to go into politics. And so you find a lot of young people congregating in that
You are young. Did you make money? Have you made money?
Not yet. I think that has happened because, and for all of us across the political divide, I think we should admit, over the years, I mean, today we celebrate Dr. Nkrumah's birthday. Over the years, since independence, we have not succeeded in making the broader Ghanaian economy and the pillars in the economy that ordinarily should attract a lot more people, like entrepreneurship and professions. We have not succeeded in making them, as younger ones who are in and who reflect on this. What we should be looking to do is to use our work, not necessarily to make politics attractive, but young people, who would express the view that if they had their way, they would leave the country. Why? It's because we in the political class, from 1957 till now, have not succeeded in making the broader Ghanaian economy attractive and rewarding enough. And I think that is what we should be focusing a lot more on.
Right. Thank you very much, sir. Back to our panel.
I was president for National Union of Ghana Students, hometown. So leadership had been part of me from the SRC level. I needed to enter ministry. The reason for which I had an opportunity to do so that year from Agyapong, and I did so from Agyapong. As a student, yes, it was difficult having to mobilize funds to pay for the development fee, not the filing fee. The filing fee usually you can do it, but the development fee. I'm sure Honorable is paying 4 million Ghana cedis as a development fee. The reason why he has to win. So, being able to help you with whichever vision you want to pursue, among others. So yes, from my school days, I had built these individuals who believed in my vision and my ambition, and for which reason I needed to fall on them and fall on family to be able to provide for some of these funds that were needed to be able to go through that hurdle. Challenges, yes, there were a lot of challenges. When I decided to contest, the incumbent, the former MCE, also from nowhere decided to also contest. And you would imagine having to contest as a student against a former DCE who just left office. Financially, otherwise, connection with the district and all that. It was a huge challenge for me. Age, yes, was a very huge challenge. So at a point, they would say things that would intend to provoke you. Once you go overboard, then they will brag you as being arrogant. Even in a situation where you want to be assertive and stand on your grounds, if you don't take care, they will brand you as being arrogant. So I needed to play it well, manage it well, convince the people why we needed a young person as parliamentary candidate instead of the status quo. And that was well managed, and I was able to win the parliamentary primaries. Moving on to the main elections, which was the NDC NPP battle. Agyapong has ever been an NPP-dominated area. My main aim was to win. The second aim was to make sure I bridged the gap, which I did so beautifully. And that gave me an opportunity to run for regional secretary for the party in the next election, because they realized that the efforts and the strategies I put up was able to bring the NPP votes down and be able to appreciate the NDC votes. And for which reason, I was able to win as the youngest regional secretary in the next election. So these were the things that I went through as a young politician starting from my hometown. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you. So we'll take one question from... Please go ahead. Mr. Trim, entrepreneurship is quite risky. So entrepreneurship is a risky area. Most kids or youth or young persons these days, I complete a university, I want to be in the office. How do we make entrepreneurship super attractive for young persons and not considering the risk factors?
Well, it's true. Thank you. It's true. It's It's risky, but then let me say that not everyone can just get up and be an entrepreneur. There are some who can be entrepreneurs right from school. Others would have to go through a curve, like learn on jobs and then find something to do. And others will be privileged to be handpicked by somebody and then given the opportunity to become entrepreneurs. So the most important thing is that wherever you find yourself, just look at the conditions around you to see what can make you become an entrepreneur. And from yourself, there are people who cannot be entrepreneurs. Because to be an entrepreneur, Honorable Agyapong said, and my brother has said, of course, Honorable Ken has also said, when you are doing, like Minka said, when you are someone and you are working, NPP comes, they're like, oh, this guy won't give him a job. By God's grace, you start getting a job and you work. If NDC comes by, they're like, this guy worked with Nana, he misses Nana's boy, so he can't work with us. Then, purpose for individuals. So you must always ask what your purpose is.
So I've asked what my purpose is. Purpose is the next question to you, sir. I know what my purpose is. I want to do X. Let's say I want to be an Uber driver, or purchase vehicles to start an Uber business. But this is my last coins that I put together. How sure am I that once I put these monies into this business, it's going to yield the right dividends for me?
I think one of the things personally, I'm not a fan of talk shop. Basically, I always want us to talk about things that are much more practical. I personally think that there should be a platform and a very good, if you like, framework to develop the youth. So if youth want to get into entrepreneurship, for example, there should be some tax incentives. The taxes for a youth, someone who just finished school to start a business, is going to pay the same tax as someone who has been in business into the percentage. The point is that how can he or she navigate his way to the top? The journey is going to be longer. But two, that, we have a certain platform. If you want to be an Uber driver, come and pick one. Why don't you say that if you can bring a proposal so that you can earn fleet of cars, then you make the youth think big and have a growth mindset. So for me, I personally think that beyond the conversation of my last coin, this is what I have, how can I get in, there should be a certain environment, a platform that can urge the youth to navigate their way to the top more quicker than waiting for the latter.
Right. Thank you very much. Sir, we talk about leadership roles, and then we say, let's young people approach leaders, approach people when you want to start anything. It's very difficult approaching certain persons. Once you go to them, even getting to them is a problem. Now, my question is, how do we build the confidence? I want to see you. I don't know you from nowhere. I've sent a couple of, letters to your office wanting to see you, for you to look at my application or shepherd me in my business. How do we make it easier for young persons to approach leadership when they have ideas?
Thank you very much, Akosia. So I want to say something. Like my brother said, I always choose to be very practical. And let's be very practical. You know, in this country, we think that youth empowerment is a charity. But youth empowerment is not a charity. Most often, when you read manifestos of different political parties, they look at, and you take your time to study it, they are talking about handouts. They're talking about things that they'll give to them. And you come for scholarship, and then we will give you this seat. Look, it is not. Youth empowerment is a strategy. It's a strategy that drives sustainable economic development. So for us to be able to, first of all, even discuss leadership and approaching leadership, let's see the youth as a strategic tool. So when you see the youth as a strategic tool, then the conversations, you see, I heard my brother, Honorable Minister, talk about all the vehicles that has been set up by previous governments and their governments, and we will come back and fight these same vehicles. Why? Because these vehicles are always created to have the mindset to give handouts. And we should, before I go back to that point that you want me to address, I want us to be clear in this room that youth empowerment is a strategy. Rwanda sat down. 4 people, strategy for the youth. Or we come back, you give them some money, then we tell them when we come to power. That is not youth empowerment. And if we don't take care, we will be creating monsters that will one day come after us. It's about time we stop it. Now, why are leaders not approachable? I want to have that conversation. If you're a leader, you're not approachable. You're not a leader in the first place. Let's not even have the conversation about leadership. Because a leader is for the people. You are meant for the people. If I cannot walk to Honorable Agyapong and say, sir, can I have a conversation about something? And you give me a minute or two to say, just that, yes, sometimes I understand the lapses of the youth. When you give them one time to talk about necessary stuff. But leadership is driving something out of people. So I know every single honorable sitting here, I know either by face or by name, or have listened to. There's one thing about Sticker. Sticker will play everybody, but he's an honorable. But you can approach him. To what level can you approach him? I don't know. Honorable Agyapong has so many avenues to approach him, either at the constituency or here. When I was sitting here with my brother Frank, I was telling him that your ability to be a minister in one of the biggest regions in Ghana at the age of 30-something years, combining top paramount chiefs and kings and then the governors, it's not easy. Teach me. It is approaching leadership. So I think that a leader in the first place should be approachable. You are not a leader if you are not approachable. If I leave here today and I cannot speak to less than about 10 students and say, what do you do? How are you going about it? Because one of the problems is that we have a lot of young people who have built a lot in tech and are great in this country. The only thing is that they don't have a voice. They don't have a voice. So they are underrepresented. And when my honorable members of parliament get to parliament, and I expect them to go and give them the voice, oh, they'll go and fight.
Right. Thank you. Mr. Metalon. Now,
before you ask,
right.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Before you ask me a question, I think I know why you're the next president. Because really, honestly, like, we're all practical on this stage, not just theoretical, right? And we know some things from history, right? I am my history, I am my choices. One of the things I've studied in history, sir, is that there is no time in history I've ever found where directly investing, which is what you call a strategy, investing in beings do. And the seeds you plant with each other is what gives the power for other people to be empowered to serve you. The people have the power more than the people in power, but it's not a threat. We all work together. Wherever we are in the world, I've studied this, not just in Ghana.
All right. Thank you very much. Talking about mentorship, he said a lot about leadership being approachable and all that. I want to find out, as a young person, you always have ideas. So when I meet Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, I will tell him about my business that costs $500,000. Meanwhile, I haven't done anything with one Ghana city. And then I take all these huge ideas to him, and it's like it's an abstract thing from the reality. How do we sell ourselves as serious with our businesses?
Let me say that the agreement we give times a week, really. And when I coach them about getting investment, I ask them to remember that the investor that's sitting on the other side of the table, or anybody granting you power that you don't otherwise have, they have their own risks, not just you as an entrepreneur. Did I go up? No. So it's very important, if you're dealing with people you perceive to be empowered to be able to help you, that you get to know their interests. What are their not enoughs? Even people with money have plenty of not enoughs in their life. Not enough time, not enough resources, not enough support, not enough engagement, which is why you need to be approachable as a leader. So I think if we shift from thinking, how do I get my agreement and how do I make agreement with the person sitting on the other side of the table, that opens up the doors for them to hear how you can contribute.
Thank you very much.